There are many other Upanishads, as they're called. And the biggest, the longest of these Upanishads is called the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. And it is mainly in prose, not in verse. Okay, I think we have it now. Good, we can start. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishubhadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarumyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priya, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, like so many Upanishads, there are dialogues. We're familiar with Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is sometimes called the Gita Upanishad because it is considered, in a broad sense, one of the Upanishads. And we know that the Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue. Arjuna approaches Krishna for instruction. Similarly, in other Upanishads, a student is approaching a teacher for instruction on higher knowledge, wisdom. The very, very short section which I want to share with you is at the end of a longer instruction. It is at the completion of an instruction by Prajapati. Prajapati means the Lord of the Praja, of the creations, the generations. And he has been teaching three different kinds of his progeny, his children. He's been teaching the gods, the devas. He's been teaching the humans, and he's been teaching the demons, the daityas or the asuras. They've had their lessons. They've been studying under Prajapati for some time. And finally, they come to the end of their instruction, their lessons, their tuition. And at this point, the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad tells us, the gods approach Prajapati for a final instruction before they leave for home. And what do they say? They say, "Sir, say something to us." Sir, say something to us. And so, what was his reply? He said, Da. Huh. Now, I know in Russian and other Slavic languages, da means yes, but that's not what he meant. So, Prajapati said, da. And then he asked, did you understand? And the gods replied, yes, we understood. You said to us, demonstrate restraint, damyata. Demonstrate restraint. Be restrained. Have self-control. So he understood. Prajapati was giving them a final instruction. These are the gods who perhaps need to be reminded because they tend to indulge themselves in the heavenly realms. So he's perhaps waving a finger at them. Damyada, control yourselves, right? So Prajapati says, yes, you've understood. Very good. Here we see Lord Brahma restraining himself. He has not much else to do. He finds himself on a lotus flower, what to do. And he is told, ta, pa. He got a slightly different form of the instruction. Ta, pa. Ta, pa. Perform austerity. And he took the instruction to heart and he remained on his lotus, meditating for a very long time. We cannot even begin to imagine how long. And as a result, he received a vision. That's another story. The point for now is simply that he followed this instruction as himself Prajapati. We could say he was giving example for the other devas. The story continues. After the gods had this little interview with Prajapati and asked him, or said to him, tell us something, then the humans came to him and said, sir, say something to us. And they seem to have the same interest as the gods. And so he responds to the humans. He says, what does he say? Da! And he asks them, did you understand? And they replied, yes, we understood. You said to us, demonstrate bounty. Bounty means generosity. Datta. Datta. And he confirmed, he said, yes, indeed, you have understood. So apparently, Prajapati was satisfied that the devas and the Nara, the humans, had properly learned their lessons. They were able to hear the coded language of Prajapati and understand that what he means by that for us is such and such. In the case of the devas from Da, they understood Damyata. The Nara, the humans, they understood from Da, Datta. These are two completely different words, but they're both, for them, coming from this one syllable, Da. Okay. Anyone recognize what's going on here? Hmm? Mohini Murti? Mm-mm. Hmm? Ganesh. Huh? Well, that's in a moment. We're illustrating here Datta. Hmm? I didn't. Giving in charity. Who's giving in charity? Krishna. Okay. What's happening in this picture? They're feasting. Yes, this is Krishna and Balaram and their friends, the Gopas, who are not wearing very much. Some of them look quite skimpily dressed. Anyway, they're having their lunch in the forest. Perhaps Lord Brahma is about to come and steal the calves. So this is I thought, a nice image of a spirit of generosity, of sharing. They're exchanging. And of course, Krishna is appearing as a human. As the avatar Rama appears as a human, similarly, Krishna specifically appears as a human together with Balaram. Yes, but as you said, the story continues. Then the demons came to Prajapati and they said, "Sir, say something to us." Perhaps they spoke something like that. I don't know if the demons actually look like this, but I thought they could. So what did he say to them? He said the same syllable, da. And he asked them, "Did you understand?" And they said, "Yes, we understand. You said to us, demonstrate compassion. Dayadvam." Yes, he said, you have understood. And so they have also learned their lesson. From the same word or syllable, da, is coming three different meanings appropriate for each of three classes of beings. The gods understand damyata because the gods tend to enjoy life, so they're told to restrain themselves. The humans tend to be stingy, wie sagt man auf Deutsch? Geizig, yeah. And so Prajapati tells them, Datta, be ready to give, be generous. And to the demons who tend to be, well, what would be the opposite of compassionate? Cruel, right? What was the word? Unhoyer? Grausam, yeah. Grausam. He gives this instruction, diet. They understand. Perhaps they all understand because inside they understand they have some tendency which needs some correction. Okay, so this is the lesson near the end. Oh, and the example of compassion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the right, sorry, on the left, and Nityananda Prabhu on the right, and Jagai and Madai on the lower right, and Nityananda has just been attacked by Madai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in a mood of divine anger with the intention to immediately cut off the head of Madai with his Sudarshan chakra. But Nityananda Prabhu intervenes. Wie sagt man auf Deutsch? Intervene. Greift ein. Sounds pretty gruesome. Greift ein. Okay. Yes, and he says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, don't do it. This is, you don't forget your mission. Your mission is not to kill the demons. Your mission is to liberate them with Krishna's unlimited grace in the form of his names. So that moment is here, and Nityananda Prabhu in this case is demonstrating Dayadvam. It's said in the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad that this this was an exclamation by Prajapati as coming out of thunder. Now I have a little request from all of you. On the count of 3, I want you all to, in a mood of thunder, Himmel Donaveta, I want you to call out very loudly 3 times. Da, da, da. Okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. We got it. Very good. I'm impressed. You have a lot of energy. So yes, demonstrate restraint, demonstrate bounty, demonstrate compassion. One should observe the same triad, the same 3: restraint, bounty, compassion. So that's an instruction from the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. And what I want to suggest is that we think about this not just, okay, I'm a human and therefore I have to practice datta, generosity. Yes, that is good. But we also find perhaps sometimes within ourselves other sorts of influence. The devas have this tendency to enjoy, perhaps sometimes, at rare moments, perhaps when no one is looking, or we think no one is looking. Actually, it's said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that there are so many witnesses. There's the sun, there's the moon. We've just had full moon a couple of days ago. There's the air, the wind. There's the day, there's the night. There's a long list of witnesses. So whatever we do, we can't hide. And aside from all of them, there's Paramatma in the heart, right? He sees everything. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Hridi sannivishta is fixed, settled in the heart. Yeah, so the point being simply, all of these 3 instructions may be good for us. And they're simple enough, they're not a big shock, perhaps. But I want to now go to Bhagavad Gita, to a not exactly same instruction, but I would say similar. We're going to the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, and this is verse number 5. Yagyadana tapakarma natyajam karyam evatat yagyo danam tapaschaiva bhavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed, indeed. Sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So sometimes we might feel ourselves to be special. We kind of think, yeah, there's something special about me, right? And in that spirit, we might think, therefore, I don't need to, do what everyone else should do. Yagyadana tapa. No, I'm one step above them, maybe a few steps. In our private moments, we might feel like that. So Krishna's saying, Pavanani manishina. These are activities that are purifying also to those who are, it's translated here, great souls, manishina. Let's see. Trying to remember. Kaimut, yeah, that's it. Kaimutya Nyaya. There's a kind of principle of logic in Sanskrit. It's called Kaimutya Nyaya, which says that if something is the case, if something is true, how much more true it must be in such a case. One example is, Srila Prabhupada gives, he says, all of the planets are floating and they're held by the power of the Lord. Ultimately, we can say it's gravity, we can say it's, whatever, Newton's, I don't know what it is, second law of motion or something that keeps them going. That's okay, but if you say gravity, then what is gravity? We're all sitting here very comfortably because of gravity. We're not floating around in the room, and we take it very much for granted. But if you keep drilling and keep asking, all right, but what is this gravity? You might get some mathematical formula explaining how gravity works. I think that's what Newton was doing, and we all praise him for that, and that's nice. But still, what is gravity? How is it that two substances attract each other? Why? Well, a Vaishnava's answer is very simple. It's Krishna. Or if you prefer, Vishnu. Vishnu is holding everything. So, but my point is, Srila Prabhupada explains in the pastime of Lord Ramachandra, who, with the help of his monkey friends, builds a kind of bridge with so many floating stones to go from the mainland to Lanka. He says, don't think that's so wonderful. Why is it not wonderful? It's because it's easy for the Lord to do this. How much, if he can, and the point is, he's making this comparison. If he can make all the planets float, certainly he can make a few rocks float. That's called Kaimutya Nyaya, Kim Uta, what to speak of, literally. Hmm. And I'm mentioning this because, as I see it, this is Krishna's logic here. He's saying everybody should do these three things, even those who are most advanced spiritually. It's even good for them. If it's good for them, it must be good for us. Yes. So Krishna's saying, don't be negligent in these three things. What are these three things? Yajna, dana, and tapa. So yajna. What is this yajna? Just briefly, we go all the way back to the Rig Veda, Mandala 10, hymn number 90, and we have the Purusha Sukta, perhaps the most well-known hymn of the Rig Veda, which has over 1,000 hymns. And this hymn is describing what is understood as the primordial sacrifice. It's the sacrifice at the beginning of creation. And it says, the Purusha has 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes, and 1,000 feet. He has enveloped this world from all sides and has even transcended it by 10 angulas. This last phrase is quite mysterious. In many ways, this has been interpreted. One way to interpret is you go to some place where there's a clear horizontal horizon, and you look at the horizon and you line up one hand like this, so that the bottom of the horizon is where your bottom of your hand is, and you put your next hand up like this above that hand, and you look up that way to the top edge of your second hand. That's dashangulam, that's 10 fingers. So in other words, the Purusha envelops everything and he's above. So it's a poetic way of saying. The Rig Veda is highly poetic. It goes on to say that the demigods worshipped the supreme creator in the form of yajna. Through yajna, those very processes became the primary dharmas, the laws guiding humanity. In the Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say in the 3rd chapter? Saha yajna prajashishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvam eshavostvishta kamaduk. In ancient times, I, Prajapati, have created all beings, all the progeny, and I created them along with yajna, saha yajna prajashishtva. And by practicing yajna, by doing yajna, he says, all your wishes will be fulfilled. Eshavostvishta kamaduk, it's a kamaduk, it's a wish-fulfilling cow. All that you want is available. Okay, I thought this is a nice image of the universal form, which is kind of related to this Prajapati idea. Charity, there is a nice meditation, I think, on the theme of charity. You may know the story. This woman who is a fruit vendor. She's there wanting to sell her fruits, And little Krishna comes by, and he's so charming. She simply can't resist to give him some fruit. And she gives him, as you see here, it looks like more than he can carry, almost. And as a reciprocation, Krishna then fills her basket with jewels. There's often this notion that by giving in charity, one will get back so much. Naturally, it's understood, and this is explained also in the Gita, one should not give charity with such motivation. One should not be expecting anything in return. The question famously arose by a French anthropologist, can a gift be given? He raised the question, is it even possible to give a gift without any motivation of getting something in return? And then austerity. I like to think of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Sometimes it's said they would live under different trees in Vrindavan. In any case, they were quite austere, living, just living mainly, you could say, from their devotional activities and their exchanges with each other. And I like this particular image of the Goswamis because it shows them sharing with each other. They're writing their scriptures. Rupa Sanatan Goswamis, Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. They're all writing in Sanskrit language wonderful glorifications of Krishna. And they're doing all of this, you can say, as a kind of result, a kind of product of their austerities, tapas. All of this beautiful, rich writing is coming out. Sometimes it's nice just to have an image, a visual image to illustrate a concept, an abstract concept. Okay, well, Srila Prabhupada says, since we must serve, why not serve Krishna? He asks rhetorically. Why should we serve our senses, which are never satisfied anyway? We should become servants of God. That is the perfection of life. Otherwise, we shall be obliged to become servants of our senses and suffer. So we can think back on these three instructions. First of the Prajapati in the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. Da, da, da. Damyata, datta, dayatvam. What means damyata? Let's see if you remember. Restraint, very good. Datta, bounty or generosity, yes. And dayatvam, compassion, yes. So, and then from the Bhagavad Gita, we had, there's some overlap, and we could talk more about that, but there's three things we should practice. What were they? Yagya, giving in charity, dana, and enzagum, tapa. Yes. So these are for all of us, all human beings. Srila Prabhupada, sometimes he would say, someone who is not practicing these principles is not even human. The ideal form of this practice, you could say, is all combined, it's all comes together, it's all embodied in this practice called what? Sankirtan, right? Sankirtana. Sam is a prefix which has two senses. One is together, and another is completeness. And so Sankirtan means glorifying kirtan together in a group, as we see here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his friends, his associates. Some of them I just now noticed, they look quite intensely involved. There's one on the bottom left, it looks like he's fainted. And it looks like one other is in the process of fainting. Yes, and Sankirtan can also mean, sam, meaning complete, means complete kirtan, or complete glorification. So a comprehensive glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's our aim in the practice of Krishna Bhakti. We don't want something incomplete. We want something complete. Well, as it turns out, just chanting this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, is a complete description of the Lord and his energies in a sublime form. And so it's very much encouraged in this age. It is said, Madhuram Madhurebhyopi Mangalebhyopi Mangalam Bhavanam Bhavanebhyopi Harinam Eva Kevalam. In this time, Madhuram Madhurebhya, of all sweet things, the chanting of this mantra is sweetest. And Mangalam Mangalebhyopi, of all auspicious things, this is most auspicious. And Bhavanam Bhavanebhyopi, of all things that purify, this is tops. Harinam Eva Kevalam. And it is also said, Abrahma Stamba Paryantam Sarva Maya Jagat. Satyam Satyam Param Punar Satyam Harinam Eva Kevalam. From Abrahma, from Brahma, Stamba, all the way to a clump of grass, Paryantam, Sarva Maya. Everything is in this world, this Jagat, constituted of Maya. Maya can mean magic, it can mean illusion, it can mean that which is not, it's not giving us what we want, it's not fulfilling our needs. Satyam, punar satyam hariname. What is true? Hariname vakeva. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, on that note, I will end, and I hope this was giving you some food for thought. But from thought should also come some action. And what should the action be? Some form or other of chanting Krishna's names, coming together and hearing and chanting and remembering who we are and who is our dearmost friend. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is our dearmost friend. Okay, I'll stop there. I think I've come to the point of time that's scheduled, but if someone has a comment or a burning question, whether I can answer or not is another thing, especially if you ask me something about the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. But, if you have something you want to express, we can take a moment. Otherwise, we have offering of lamps, I think, to Sri Sri Radha, which is also a complete activity of offering. Anything? Everyone okay? Adishesha, you always have a question.
No, I don't have a question. Thank
okay.
For your nice explanation.
Okay, good. So then, thank you all very much. And I wish you a wonderful afternoon. Oh, wait. Here's something. Hare Krishna.
Can I ask one small question?
Small question.
Hopefully. But I heard that it is said that all services, all sevas are with the same importance. But still they're saying that chanting and is like the highest and the most important. How can it go together?
How do these 2 points go together? How is it, on the one side, every kind of service, there are basically 9 types of service, according to Sri Prahlad. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Did I miss one? Vandanam. Anyway, there's 9. And they can all lead us to perfection, to pure devotion. And, as you're pointing out, it is also said. So that one statement is, there's a kind of equality. They're all good for perfection. And on the other hand, we hear, well, actually, it's which of, it's Shravanam Kirtanam, right? And sometimes it's said, actually, it's Kirtanam, because how can you do Kirtanam without first having heard? Well, I would just say there's not a contradiction. There's an emphasis. The emphasis is on kirtan because with kirtan there will be inspiration for other kinds of service. It may not go the other way around unless one is very gifted or very qualified. It could be that, Archanam, for example, if you would do Archanam, worshipping the deity, and not having any Shravanam and Kirtanam. Actually, Jiva Goswami says Archanam is complete with Shravanam Kirtanam. There should be hearing and chanting before worship, and there should be worship after. There should be Shravanam Kirtanam after the worship to make it complete. I think we can understand in that way. It's just a matter of emphasis. And we might also understand that it's the personal ecstasy of the acharyas, in particular Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that yes, we should be let's do kirtan, this is the best. But he's not he doesn't want to minimize any of the other activities. And he rather wants to encourage any and all kinds of service are appreciated by the Lord, even if they're performed in a not so expert way. Yeah, is that okay? Yes, me try.
Thank you very much for your
I use.
Could you say something about the importance? Who should we listen from?
Who to listen from? Shravanam. Okay, Shravana means to hear. Who do we want to listen to? Well, there you get different instruction. Essentially, it's said by Narottam Das Thakur in one of his songs. Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Hridoye Kuryo Aikya Satatam Bashivo Prema Mache. Sadhus, Shastra, and Guru. Which Shastra could be a question. And we understand from our Guru, our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, the emphasis should be on 4 texts: Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or Prabhupada's, as he called it, summary study, Nectar of Devotion. Because there's so much literature, he helped us out to focus. He said, keep the focus on these. He didn't say, therefore, we should not read anything else or hear anything else, but these are our foundation texts. So that's Shastra. And Guru, well, Tat Vijnanartam Sagarameva Vigachet. You should go to a guru who is, Samitpani Shrotriyam Brahma Nishtam, someone who is Shrotriyam, who has heard Shastra, and is Brahma Nishtam. His Nishta is fixed in Brahman, in transcendence. That's the ideal that's given in the Mundaka Upanishad. And we accept in our society Srila Prabhupada as such a person, and we understand he's representing, he's giving us Shastra very faithfully, and he's helping us to understand the purport, the import of Shastra. And then sadhu is the many who are following the Shastra and the Guru. Okay, and then Narottam says, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Hridoye Koryo Aikya. What are we looking for to hear from all of these? Sounds like many sources. Okay, there's the Guru, there's these different Shastras, and then there's many sadhus, and the sadhus may say so many things to us, and so on. So he says, Hridoye Koryo Aikya, let all of the words of Sadhu Shastra Guru enter in such a way into my consciousness, my heart, as to become a singularity, literally, Aikya, a clear sense of what I should understand, what I should do, and so on. So one test, I would say, of who to hear from is, are you getting a sense that the person you are hearing from is helping you to get that clear sense of how to serve Krishna? And is it aligned with, is it enriching, is it supporting what you understand from our established acharyas. Is that okay? Good. All right. So, on that happy note, I wish you a wonderful day today and tomorrow and the rest of the week. Chant Hare Krishna, be happy, and remember Krishna. Prabhupada said 24 hours a day. Okay. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radhamadan Mohan ki jai. Gaur.
Jai! Noch eine kurze Ansage, bevor wir den Kirtan machen.